Liverpool's UCL hopes are on the line. Fitness fears, Trent's comeback twist and Slot's big bombshell. It's all kicking off at Anfield. Make sure you subscribe now for daily Liverpool updates you don't want to miss. West Ham boss hints at fitness concerns as Liverpool chase Champions League qualification spot. The West Ham manager was tight-lipped but hinted some players may need to be assessed ahead of the Saturday 3 p.m. kickoff. West Ham United manager Nuno Espirito Santo has suggested late decisions may have to be made over the involvement of some of his players before his team's trip to face Liverpool at Anfield on Saturday, February 28th. The former Tottenham, Wolves and Nottingham Forest coach was responding to a question in his pre-match press conference asking for any new updates on fitness for his side. "You know what it is," Espirito Santo said. "Always knocks and things to assess, but we have a training session tomorrow and then we travel." The Hammers only have two players currently known to be out injured. The goalkeeper Łukasz Fabianski, who has been out with a back injury since November, and January signing Pablo Felipe. The Brazilian striker, known as Pablo, became Espirito Santo's first signing at West Ham when he arrived from Portuguese side Gil Vicente in January. The Portuguese coach gave a positive update on Pablo's recovery, but the £21.8 million striker will not make his return against Liverpool, having already missed the last 3 games. He didn't join us yet. He's starting his individual program, improving day by day, Espirito Santo said. "Like I said, we keep assessing him and see when he can return." Pressed on the time frame, the Hammers boss added, "It all depends on him, depends on how he adapts to the loads. Hopefully soon. We miss him." The Premier League clash arrives at a time when both teams need to start accumulating positive results to secure their aims at opposite ends of the table. With just 11 games remaining, 6th place Liverpool suffered a total collapse in their title defence earlier in the season, though green shoots are showing and the successful integration of new signings such as Florian Wirtz, Hugo Ekitike and Milos Kerkez has seen results improve since the end of November. The Reds could be without Wirtz for the visit of West Ham, with the German playmaker having been removed from the starting lineup against Nottingham Forest after suffering a complaint in the warm-up. Though Arne Slot stressed it was not serious, Jeremy Frimpong could make his return from injury against the Hammers, but several players remain out with existing long-term injuries, including record signing Alexander Isak. Liverpool still face an uphill battle to qualify for the Champions League next season, but are now level on points with 5th place Chelsea after the last round of fixtures. West Ham, meanwhile, sit 18th in the table and will likely need to outperform one of Forest or Spurs to avoid the drop. Both of those sides are still fighting in European competition. West Ham supporters will hope their side can continue their improvement under Espirito Santo, who replaced Graham Potter at the end of September, having lost only once in their last 6 Premier League games. Liverpool needed until the 7th minute of second-half stoppage time to score the winner against West Ham's relegation rivals Forest last Sunday, February 22nd, but will hope to make it 3 successive Premier League victories for the first time in 2026. In another news, Arne Slot's Mo Salah and Virgil van Dijk actions hint at Ibrahima Konate contract update. Arne Slot has hinted that Ibrahima Konate is close to signing a new Liverpool contract if his past comments about Mohamed Salah and Virgil van Dijk are anything to go by. The defender only has months left on his deal, but his exit is far from a formality yet. Liverpool are eager to tie the Frenchman down, have confirmed that discussions are in progress. In his press conference last week, Slot disclosed, "We are in talks with him, so that tells you what we want. It's clear we would like him to stay, but negotiations are ongoing, so let's see where that ends. We wouldn't be in negotiations if we didn't want him to stay." Real Madrid have been linked with a potential free transfer for the 26-year-old at the season's conclusion, although reports late last year indicated the La Liga Titans had contacted Liverpool directly to clarify they wouldn't be pursuing another high-profile Anfield acquisition following their interest in Trent Alexander-Arnold. Liverpool found themselves in a comparable predicament last year when both Mohamed Salah and Virgil van Dijk's contracts were due to expire at the season's end. However, Slot frequently declined to provide ongoing updates on the pair's negotiations until the deals were close. So Slot openly discussing the club's desire to keep Konate may be telling. The Frenchman has experienced a mixed season, but has shown promise in recent fixtures, including in the 4-1 victory against Newcastle United late last month. Reds captain Virgil van Dijk, who will be 35 by time next season rolls around, has acknowledged he's eager for his defensive colleague to stay at the club beyond the season's conclusion. "We are friends, we speak about everything," he said. "It's a process, and let's see what comes out of it. It's never that easy. We saw with my situation last year, so it's never that easy that we can just say, let's get it done. It's a process, and let's see what comes out of it. Obviously, I want him to stay. He's an important figure on the pitch. That's what everyone sees, but off the pitch as well. He's one of the leaders. He's outstanding, and in my eyes, a world-class centre-back." Given Van Dijk's age, Liverpool will no doubt be keen to keep hold of Konate. The Reds have, however, taken early measures to build a defence for the future, having spent big money on centre-backs Giovanni Leoni and Jeremy Jacquet in recent windows. In another news, Arne Slot drops giveaway clue: Liverpool will get France Intel to sign at Anfield. A trusted reporter who specialises in covering Liverpool has pointed to recent comments made by Arne Slot that suggest a deal the Reds are desperate to seal will be finalised. Liverpool already have their first signing of the summer wrapped up, with Jeremy Jacquet arriving from Rennes in a deal worth £55 million plus £5 million in add-ons. However, that by no means closes the door with regards to further movement in Arne Slot's centre-back core. Liverpool's plans may wind up being dictated by what happens with Jacquet's fellow Frenchman, Ibrahima Konate. As it stands, the 26-year-old is tracking towards free agency, with his current contract expiring in the summer. Liverpool have tried and failed on multiple occasions to convince Konate to put pen to paper. Initial efforts first begun back in late 2024 and continue to this day. Interest from Real Madrid has come and gone, with Los Blancos reportedly now pursuing Nico Schlotterbeck of Borussia Dortmund instead. And according to the Daily Mail's Merseyside correspondent Lewis Steele, recent comments made by Slot point towards a breakthrough at Anfield and Konate agreeing to extend his stay. A fortnight ago, the Reds boss explained, "We are in talks with him, Konate, so that tells you what we want. It's clear we would like him to stay, but negotiations are ongoing, so let's see where that ends. We wouldn't be in negotiations if we didn't want him to stay." And according to Steele, the mere fact Slot was willing to publicly talk about Konate's contract situation is a giveaway clue. There's light at the end of the tunnel, and a deal will be agreed. Steele made that assessment after highlighting Slot always refused to talk about the contract situations of Virgil van Dijk and Mohamed Salah last season, at least until a decision was close, and in those two instances, the players signed extensions. The Mail reporter explained, "We do not fully know where Konate's head is in this saga, but it is clear he loves the club and enjoys his life at Liverpool." Real Madrid had posted an interest earlier in the season, but that seems to have cooled. Konate is crucial to Liverpool though, and with Virgil van Dijk turning 35 in the summer, he could be the bridge between the present and future at the club, with young Jeremy Jacquet and Giovanni Leoni, 20 and 19 respectively, both primed as long-term defensive options. There was also a heartwarming moment on Sunday at Nottingham Forest, where Konate gave a journalist his match-worn shirt as a gesture of gratitude for some dates, a popular snack with Muslims after breaking their Ramadan fasts. No concrete updates have been offered in 2026, but he is certainly not a clear-cut candidate for leaving Liverpool as he may have been. Even Slot, openly discussing the club's desire to keep him, was telling. He did not do that with Salah or Van Dijk last year until new deals were close to being signed. Just like the hierarchy did not panic about Slot's future based on a few bad months, the club would not have let a tough start to the season cloud their judgment on Konate. They rightly so are desperate for him to renew. It is worth noting that Team Talk correspondent Graham Bailey exclusively revealed earlier this month that Liverpool will not wait until the end of the season for Konate to make his decision on whether to extend. We understand Liverpool want an answer from Konate by Easter, so big developments on his future are expected soon. Latest Liverpool news: £60 million to £70 million Forest raid, Alessandro Bastoni, Mickey van de Ven. In other news, Liverpool and Chelsea are both showing strong and serious interest in taking a Nottingham Forest ace away from the City ground, and we can reveal a summer sale is increasingly likely if offers of around £60–70 million are tabled. Elsewhere, Fabrizio Romano has provided an update on the futures of Alessandro Bastoni and Mickey van de Ven as Liverpool prepare to make a statement defensive signing this summer. In another news, Trent Alexander-Arnold edges closer to Liverpool return after Champions League drama. The former Liverpool hero reached the Champions League last 16 with Real Madrid on Wednesday evening. Liverpool's path to the latter stages of the Champions League and a potential reunion with former Anfield favourite Trent Alexander-Arnold is beginning to materialise. The Reds had already secured safe passage through to the last 16 in Europe after finishing third in the league phase. They will face either Atletico Madrid or Galatasaray in the next round, with confirmation of their route to the final due to be announced following the draw on Friday. Alexander-Arnold's Real Madrid sealed their spot in the Champions League last 16 after defeating Jose Mourinho's Benfica 3-1 on aggregate on Wednesday evening, with Alexander-Arnold completing the full 90 minutes. Should Liverpool draw the Turkish giants, the Reds could find themselves on a collision course with Madrid, with a potential showdown between the two sides in the semi-finals. If Liverpool are drawn against Atletico, then the tantalising prospect of facing Los Blancos in the final in Budapest becomes a genuine possibility. Regardless of who Liverpool face, Alexander-Arnold could be set to line up against his former club once more this season, provided both sides battle through to at least the semi-finals. Liverpool and Madrid have already crossed paths in this season's Champions League, with the Reds claiming a 1-0 victory at Anfield during the league phase. Alexander-Arnold perhaps never anticipated returning to his childhood club quite so swiftly after making the move to Madrid in the summer, with the 27-year-old's exit from Anfield being contentious to say the least. The reception awaiting the right-back at Anfield back in November was perhaps entirely predictable. The full-back started the evening on the bench for Madrid. Shortly after Liverpool had taken a 1-0 lead, the crowd was in full voice and they further made themselves heard when Alexander-Arnold came off the bench with 10 minutes left on the clock. The England defender has been sharing the right-back position with Madrid stalwart Dani Carvajal and missed a significant portion of the La Liga season through injury. His introduction from the bench at Anfield came as little surprise. The former Anfield favourite was largely met with boos as he eventually stepped onto the pitch. Supporters then made a point of chanting about club legend Steven Gerrard and Alexander-Arnold's successor at right-back Conor Bradley in a pointed dig at their former idol. Upon departing Liverpool, Alexander-Arnold revealed that he sympathised with those supporters who struggled to understand his reasoning for leaving his boyhood club. "I completely understand the feelings that go with that, leaving Liverpool. And I felt it myself, so I completely understand that the news will disappoint a lot of people, will anger people, it will make them upset," he said, after making his decision to join Madrid. Obviously, that went into the decision as well. It's something you don't want to do. You don't want to ever have these moments where you feel like you're letting a lot of people down, you're disappointing a lot of people. But I've had to make a decision for me. It's as simple as that. I know the news will take a bit of time to set in and people won't be happy and they'll be disappointed. At the end of the day, you can be angry and hurt at me, but I just hope that the lads, the rest of the team, the staff, everyone else is able to feel how good a season this has been. The 15-time Champions League winners and 6-time champions have clashed in 2 European Cup finals since 2018, with Madrid triumphing on both occasions. It's highly probable that Liverpool will want to sidestep Madrid at any stage in this year's knockout rounds, given their recent history. However, the wheels appear to be in motion for a sensational reunion between Alexander-Arnold and Liverpool. In another News 4, things spotted in Liverpool training with Mohamed Salah reaction as Florian Wirtz's fears grow. Liverpool's players continued their preparations ahead of facing West Ham at the weekend, although Florian Wirtz's absence from training has raised fears over his fitness. Liverpool's players have been able to enjoy some rare time off this week, but it was back down to work on Thursday as they prepared for this weekend's Premier League clash with West Ham. Arne Slot and his coaching staff put their squad through their paces at the AXA training centre, with cameras in position to capture the session and offer a glimpse into how the Reds are shaping up ahead of Saturday's game. The good news is there was one injury boost to emerge from the session in Kirkby. The bad news, concerns have been raised for Liverpool's latest injury worry. Here's what we spotted from Liverpool's latest training session ahead of facing West Ham. Wirtz's doubts grow. Florian Wirtz was a very notable absentee from training on Thursday, raising doubts over whether he will be able to return against West Ham. The 22-year-old had to pull out of Liverpool's team against Nottingham Forest on Sunday, having picked up a back injury during the warm-up. But Slot played down concerns and suggested it was just a minor issue. Having not joined in with his teammates on Thursday, though, it's looking highly doubtful he will be back to face the Hammers, with Slot set to give an update in his pre-match press conference on Friday. Frimpong's back. Liverpool did get an injury boost on Thursday in the shape of Jeremy Frimpong, though. The winger was back on the training pitch with his teammates, having also been seen running to the gym, a good sign after the thigh injury he picked up last month. Slot will hopefully give an update on him as well on Friday, but it looks as though he is on course to return against West Ham. It might just be a question of how minutes he will be given after being out for around a month. Frimpong's return will be welcomed, with Liverpool getting back one of its first-choice right-backs. That may free Dominik Szoboszlai up to move back into midfield as well, which will be a big boost. Rio out to impress, with calls growing for Rio Ngumoha to be given more opportunities by Slot. The teenager will have been out to impress on Thursday, although Slot has exercised caution with the 17-year-old, and rightfully so, given Liverpool has seen firsthand the problems that can arise with throwing a young player in early. It does feel as though the prospect of Ngumoha being handed a first Premier League start might be approaching. Having impressed once again off the bench at Nottingham Forest, he was in the thick of the action with his teammates during a cold and wet training session. With Cody Gakpo and Mohamed Salah struggling for form and few options in attack at the moment, will Ngumoha have done enough to convince Slot that he deserves a start on Saturday? Well, he was on the winning team during a match practice situation, so that's a good start. Salah all smiles. It certainly hasn't been your usual Mohamed Salah season, not by his high standards anyway. And fans may well have been a little more worried by what they saw from him against Forest. Having produced another poor performance, Salah looked bemused as Slot took the decision to replace him 13 minutes from time. We all know what happened the last time the Egyptian wasn't happy with his head coach's decisions. There didn't seem to be any sign of him holding any hard feelings during training on Thursday, though, with Salah seen smiling broadly as he made his way out onto the training pitch. With the likes of Ngumoha and Federico Chiesa pushing for a starting berth, though, the 33-year-old is going to have to produce soon, and ending his goal drought in the Premier League this weekend would be the perfect place to start. In another news, Liverpool agrees to join Chelsea in May tournament as event-revived Liverpool legends, including Jermaine Pennant, are expected to compete at the Masters Football Tournament at the Ovio Arena, Wembley, on May 31st. With Chelsea, Ajax and Real Madrid also involved, Liverpool and Chelsea are set to feature at this spring's Masters Football Tournament, which sees legendary players return to the field. The competition will unfold at the Ovio Arena in Wembley, London, London on May 31st. Club greats from Chelsea, Liverpool, Ajax and Real Madrid will compete before a capacity crowd and television viewers across the United Kingdom. The event's promotional material has offered clues about potential participants for each team. Premier League champion Loic Remy appears in a Chelsea kit on the poster. The French soccer player hung up his boots in 2023 following his departure from Brest. Also shown on the poster is Jermaine Pennant, who looks set to wear Liverpool's colours. The ex-winger didn't lift major silverware at Anfield but featured in the Reds squad that suffered defeat to AC Milan in the 2007 Champions League final. Additional figures on the poster suggesting their involvement include Ivan Campo, who became a Premier League icon while at Bolton. The Spanish defender is anticipated to play for Real Madrid, with whom he claimed the 2000 Champions League trophy. Meanwhile, Jari Litmanen, who enjoyed a stint with Liverpool, may line up against his former employers when he dons an Ajax jersey again. Previous winners of the competition include Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester City, Nottingham Forest and Leicester. Scottish outfit Rangers was the most recent team to claim the trophy after its commanding 8-3 triumph over Leeds in the 2011 final. Each six-a-side match will run for 14 minutes and allow rolling substitutions, with numerous high-profile names expected to be announced for each squad in the coming months. The tournament will follow a round-robin structure, with the top two teams progressing to the final. Liverpool legend Robbie Fowler has previously told the event's official website why it remains so popular amongst former players. He said, "The lads always have a great time with the Masters. The fans always come out in numbers and the matches are as intense as ever. You only need to see the quality of the teams nowadays to see how keen the players are to get involved." Tickets went on pre-sale at 10 a.m. local time on Thursday. They will then go on general sale 24 hours later. That's the latest from Anfield. Do you think Trent's return changes everything for the UCL race? Drop your thoughts below. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more Reds news.